Happy GA Flashback Friday, TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. I hope that you guys are having a magical, wonderful start to your weekend. I know I am for the most part. The day has had its moments, let me tell you. But I am super excited for GA Flashback Friday, and I'm super excited to do it like in a super cute dress. Just saying. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling sassy, and I'm feeling purty, and I'm just gonna, you know, that's how I'm going to roll today. I was going to change and be like my little comfortable self, and then I decided, you know what, nope, screw it. I'm going to stay nice and cute. I had to dress up for a retirement lunch this afternoon, and I just said, you know what, the heck with it. It's a cute dress. It's a nice spring day. I'm just going to roll with it. But we're not here to talk about my fashion abilities or inabilities or whatever. I am here for GA Flashback Friday, where we recap a past episode of Ghost Adventures. And I am so excited because today we are going to the Purisima mission in Lompo, California. And as always, before I get started into Lockdown Breakdown, I like to give you guys a little history on the location. And so here we go, because we have lots to cover today. And I want to get you guys on your merry way so that you can start your weekend and it can all be happy and glorious and wonderful. Okay? Okay. So the Spanish came in the 18th century and stole this land where the mission sends from the Chumash Indians. And they forced them to convert to their religion. And pretty much, I mean, the Chumash Indians were like pretty docile. They weren't a warrior tribe. They were really calm. And they just kind of conceded to everything going on. But eventually they became oppressed and they just were like over it. They were like, I'm done with this. I'm not going to do this anymore. And so they finally revolted against the Spanish in 1824 and went and actually burnt down another mission and then came and to La Purisima and like attacked them. And they all like hunkered down in the church and they were all like, no, don't shoot me. I don't want you to like freak out on me. What do you expect them to do? You came in here, traipsed all up on their land, got all up in their cookies, gave them like smallpox and expected them to like be cool? No. It was not going to happen, and you darn well knew it, so you should have enjoyed the peace and quiet while you had peace and quiet, because you know they were just, you know, Indians, they do not even, they don't play. They're like, no, this is my land, this is my home, and you all are traipsing all up on it, and it's not allowed. So no, 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 no. Did I mention no? And so they revolted, and there was a big, huge battle. And some of the pillars that are at the mission now are the original ones that were there then. And so that is just like a barrier of residual energy. You know that it's just like embedded. And not to mention, there is a Padre, Father Payeras, who is buried in the chapel of the mission. He was like beloved by the Chumash Indians. He was the Padre of the mission from 1815 until 1823, and then he passed away, and they buried him in the floorboards of the chapel. So there's just like so much of a breeding ground of like between negativity and good spirits and Native Americans and their pissed off attitude to just fuel this land for a massive haunted like area, and it's haunted for sure. So it was a pretty short history. They really didn't do a lot. Most of it was just kind of talking about the experiences that other people have had, and there are tons. Everything from being pushed and shoved to hearing disembodied voices and seeing apparitions. It's just the perfect location for a haunted area, and it did not disappoint. Now, it's time for Lockdown Breakdown. I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to flip it up. I'm going to switch it out a little bit. Just this episode in particular broke down the areas that they went to well enough that I'm going to do that too. So instead of me breaking down like the best moments and the scariest moments and the yada yada yada, I am going to break it down by location and the evidence they collected in that location. Now, they started their lockdown at the Indian grounds of the Chumash Indians, like the original home of the Indians. And they were walking around, and they had poor Aaron strapped with like a boom, like a CD player to his back with like these artifacts. He was like a giant trigger object. And they left him there in like the baptism area, and we're like, just stand here, just chill. And sorry, Aaron, you're bait. And Aaron's like, I hate you. Which would kind of be my, you know, my thought too. And so they did that to try to attract them with like actual artifacts and the music that they played in the tribe. And Nick and Zach went off and went to like a teepee, and they heard their first piece of evidence, which was a baby crying, and it was so sad. Like, you could tell it was like this little tiny baby, and it made you wonder, like, oh my God, did they have like smallpox, or, you know, are they hurt in any way? It was just horrible. Like, you can give me any, like, a creepy scream or the yell of a man, but leave children out of it. Like, I can't roll that way. Sorry. And then they went to the infirmary, and they caught a disembodied voice saying, "Come here." And Zach did not feel right in the infirmary. Like, he almost felt sick. Like, he was taking on the sickness. And the Chumash were, you know, greatly affected by the diseases of the time, like smallpox and different types of flu and things like that were given by the Spanish. And so he just did not feel right in that area at all. They then moved on to the chapel. And once they're in the chapel, they start like feeling spirits like passing through them, like they're getting goosebumps, they're getting cold chills, you can see their breath. And this is where Father Payeras is like buried under the floorboards. Like, his body is legit like buried under the floorboards. Like, there's a piece of wood with his name on it. It's like no joke. And they're all walking around, and Aaron like looks down, and at one point he's like standing on his grave, and they're like, dude, get off of his grave. Like, seriously? And so they all, of course, apologize for like being not meaning any disrespect. And they are all kind of at peace, except Aaron, of course. Aaron's like, dude, I'm kind of creeped out by this. Like, this is weird. You're not creeped out right now? And Nick's like, no, I'm like kind of at peace right now. And he's like, really? Are you kidding? But it, like I said, it was Aaron, and basically like the first 3 seasons of Ghost Adventures, he was like the biggest baby on the planet. And so they decide, because of the energy they're feeling, to set up a static night vision camera to see if they can catch anything. And at 8 minutes and 22 seconds after they set up the static X cam, they catch a ball of light like out of the corner going toward Father Payeras' grave. And from there they move on to a jail cell where there were 2 men and that had caused issues. And one of the men actually died and was buried inside the jail cell. And his name was Vicente. And on Nick's audio, not even on like a digital recorder, but on his audio of his camera, they catch a Spanish disembodied voice say something, and at the very end you catch Vicente. So that was the evidence they got in there. And they decide, they keep hearing like this almost like residual battle cry, like over and over and over and over. And it's coming from the field outside. So they all go out there and they turn on their thermal cam, and they're scanning the thermal cam in the field. And Zach like scans it, you know, back and forth, you can see, and there's nothing in this one spot. And then he scans it again, and it stops it right in that same spot. And you can tell it's the same spot by the mountains that are in the distance that are being picked up on thermal. And there is a figure out in the field, and it looks straight up like a Spanish soldier. Like, you can see like a sash and a hat. It's straight up like a figure of a person, and it was not there 5 minutes before that. So they catch that in the field along with this like residual battle cry over and over and over. And because of the field, because of the battle that had went on there, that wasn't anything like completely off the wall. From there, they move into the Father Payeras' bedroom. And there's a history in Father Payeras' bedroom of the bed, like the bed linens being like flipped up. And no shit, they walk in and the bed is like flipped, like the mattress and the blankets are all like messed up and overturned. And they are freaking out. They are so excited. They're like kids on Christmas morning. They're like, oh my God. They're like, this is why you do this right here. This is the best evidence you could get. Look at this. And it was like legit, like messed up. But it wasn't messed up like someone crawled in it. Like someone had just flipped the mattress. It was creepy. And considering there's a history of people seeing that, it only made them even more excited. And it made me excited. Because, I mean, that's some good evidence there. And let me tell you, if people are thinking that they're like sneaking in and screwing with people, you are sorely mistaken. Because there's a homeboy at the entrance of this mission with his white truck, like standing between the gate, and he is locked and loaded. He has more weapons in that truck than Fort Knox. Like, it's legit. He's like, no one's getting in and no one's getting out. Well, no, not alive anyway. They, like Zach said, protect their ghosts. So no one could have gotten in there and done that. It was straight up, like Father Payeras was like, I'm not in the mood to make my bed today. So Zach and Aaron go off and leave to the married quarters, where a tour guide or a reenactor had been like strangled on a cot. Like he felt something strangling him on a cot. And Nick stayed in Father Payeras' bedroom to try to catch evidence. And when Nick is in there, he hears this really loud knock, like this huge bang. And then he hears a voice say, "Do you belong here?" And he is like freaking out. And then he hears, so he pops up out of bed and goes to leave. He's like, "I'm out." I'm leaving. Whoever's bedroom this is, I'm gone. And then he hears a voice like right after that say, "Lay down." He also catches like a dog bark. And there has been sightings of Father Pyros' greyhound on the property. And so they think that maybe it was the dog. And Nick had left like a bone, like a ham bone for the dog as like a trigger object. So it was not completely, like I said, off the wall that they were hearing this. The final room that they went to on lockdown was the weaving room. And this was cool because they had taken everything off night vision. Normally we see all of Ghost Adventures for the most part, lockdown-wise, on night vision cameras. Because they work in pitch black darkness and all we see is night vision. But they had taken everything off night vision and lit all these candles in this weaving room. It was absolutely beautiful because that's how they used to work in there. They set it up the way that the Indians used to work in there. And they have the CD player again, and they're playing this flute music that they would listen to while they were or that they would play while they were doing their weaving work. And all of a sudden they are like, you can see Zach's breath. And we had known earlier in the day, I mean, this is California. It's hot. Like, this is California summertime. It's hot. And you can see Zach's breath. And he's like, "I'm hot as hell right now. And you can see my breath." So they get the thermometer out. And there was fluctuations like I'd never seen. Like, it was like 49, 52, 68, 72, 68, 66, 62, 54, 49. It was literally like roughly like a 30-degree fluctuation in temperature. And it just kept happening over and over and over while they were playing this music. Like, they'd stop playing the music and it would kind of level out, and then they'd start up again, and these temperature drops would happen again. And it's known that spirits can make rapid changes in the temperature. And so they leave a digital recorder like hanging in the room, and they catch one of the most beautiful EVPs I've ever heard, because it was this beautiful flute music, and it was mimicking, it was almost like the flute music that they were playing. It was a little different though. It didn't sound the same, but it was still a flute, very clearly a flute. And it was just so almost like relaxing. Like, I just wanted to take a nap. I was like, I could sleep in that for sure. Like, I could just straight up go to bed right now. It was just, it was so pretty. And so that is pretty much where they ended. And then they ended the episode with going and getting all of their evidence analyzed. And everybody was just blown away, especially with the temperature fluctuation. So I'm going to give the temperature fluctuation and the little guy in the field the best piece of evidence award, because between those two, that was like the best pieces of evidence in the show, aside from like, oh, and I guess the bedding. So the bedding, the flute music EVP, and the guy in the field are all tied for first place on the best piece of evidence because they were all flipping awesome. Overall, I give La Purisima like a good 8 out of 10. They got really great evidence. It wasn't anything like over the top, and I'm kind of like one of those wackies that like live for like the moments, and there wasn't a lot of those in this one, but they got really great evidence. And like I said, that music could have put me to sleep. I could have just been out in like a second and a half. But that's all I have for GA Flashback Friday. I will be back on Monday with something. I don't know yet, because there's no new episode of Ghost Adventures Aftershocks. So I don't yet know what I'm going to do for Monday, but I'm going to do something for Monday. I may be doing our 5,000 member video on Monday if we get there. We're so close, it's sick. So I may be doing something for that, but I will bring you something on Monday. I will either be angry and rant and get sassy, or I will bring you a I love you so much 5,000 member epic video. We'll do something Monday. And then, of course, I'll be back on Tuesday for GAQA Tuesday and What Should I Do Wednesday. And then next Friday, GA Flashback Friday. So the weekly lineup is starting all over again. But until then, I want you guys to have a wonderful, magical weekend. And I will see you guys on Monday. Much love and happiness. Bye!